Hi, in this video, I guide you on how I draft the back of a saree blouse together with some images to show you the measurements that has to be taken to draft the pattern. And welcome to my channel. I am Romola. I am showing this draft using Inkscape. You could also use the same to draft on paper. Your paper must be on a fold and make sure the width is wider and the length is longer than your measurement. Also, please note that I'm only going to draft the back borders pattern, and the front I will show it to you in the next video. We'll start by drawing a line with 1 to 2, which will be the center back. Measurement will be according to the image that's shown there. From point 2, you take your circumference. From 1 to 3 is half the shoulder length. According to the image, it's your length from the right to the left shoulder, and you divide it by 2. From 1 to 4 is your neck width. In order how to derive at your neck width, you take your bust measurement and you divide by 12. From 3, you drop it down by half an inch or 1.27 centimeters, depending on what unit you are. That will give you the shoulder slope, as your shoulders are not on a straight line. You then draw the line from 4 to 5, which will give you the shoulder slope. And now to calculate your armhole depth. From 5 to 6 is your bust, divide by 6. You draw a line, and that point at 6 will be your armhole depth. Next, you find the midpoint between 5 and 6. And you mark the point. 7 is equal to the length from 3 to 6, which is your armhole, and is marked from 1, and you mark a point. From 7, you draw a line, straight line across through to 6, and it's your bust measurement divided by 4 plus half an inch or 1.27 centimeters, which will give you the chest measurement. The 0.5 or 1275 is actually an ease allowance. And then I draw a line, a curve it from 0.5 through to the center point where we marked the center measure down through to the 8 line. You gently curve it, and that will be your armhole curve. The front 2 is your waistline or the end of your blouse measurement. That will be from 2. You measure your waist, the circumference that you have taken, divided by 4 plus 1 inch or 3 centimeters for a dart, and you draw a line. You draw a line from the underarm straight down, and that will give you your side seam. Now, to get the position of your dart, it will be equal to a nipple to nipple, that is the bust measurement divided by 8 minus 1, and that will give you the point where your dart should start. For example, if your bust is 40 inches and you divide it by 8 and you minus 1, you will get 4. So from this center, you mark 4 inches if it is in inches, and that will be your point of your dart. And now from that point, you take your dart and you divide it by 2, and you mark the point, half of the dart on the left and half the dart measure on the right. And then you draw your dart, and your dart will be 2 inches below your bust point. That will be your length of your dart. And now to finalize the draft, I will show you how to work on the neck depth. Okay, from 1, if you drop your neck depth, you work about 1 inch curve the neckline. Okay, that will be a standard neck shape, which you would make no further adjustments to it. And now to deepen the back neck, I'm deepening it by 25 centimeters. You can deepen it by how much you want to, and this is the depth of the neckline. And just give it a little balance in the curve. And move the shoulders. You gotta also move the shoulders to the right. It will be, I moved it by 25 centimeters, so it will be 25 centimeters divided by 4. That's a quarter of 25. And I further move it down by an 8, which is 25 divided by 8, and that will give you the balance of the shoulder, and that your shoulder will never drop. And please note that this is my method of calculating. I've been working with this for several times, and it worked to the T without any fail. So if you're using inches and you move it by 10 inches down, you got to move your neckline to the right. You got to adjust it by a quarter of the 10. That will be 10 divided by 4 and plus 1/8 of an inch down. So 10 divided by 8 down. And that will give a good balance of fit on the shoulder. It will never drop. You'll also notice that I haven't added any seam allowance to my pattern while drafting. Now I've got to add my seam allowance. Now because I'm using Inkscape, I will go to Part and Object to Part, and I will first, before I do that, I will duplicate my pattern, and then you go to Part and then you go to Outset. I've got mine preset already to 1 centimeters. So I'll go to Outset and it will automatically add the seam allowance. And now you will also note that you get the seam allowance to the left of the garment as well, and you don't need seam allowance on the center back. So you got to remove that allowance at the center back into the center back, and you got to extend the right one on the side seam. When you give saree blouse, you give it the extra seam allowance. So you're going to have, if you're adding 2 inches or 1.5 inches, so you've got to extend that, and then that will complete your entire drafting of your garment. The back, at least the back borders.